Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 16th of February, comes to you from London. And we're seeing quite a bit of green again on the screen this morning. The US was closed for President's Day yesterday, of course, so we'll see how that affects the market opening today. We're seeing the dollar just pushing lower on that 60-minute chart, just lurched down again this morning. So dollar making new lows, looking still very bearish. Remembering this is my long-term, my medium and short-term chart with a corresponding point and figure charts. And these are all tracker charts in Updata, very straightforward. So every time I click on an instrument, all my charts change and I get an immediate view of the market. I've looked at over 1 million charts in my career in technical analysis, and people say that's impossible, but I get to look at 6 charts on most instruments several times a day. I'm probably looking at hundreds of charts every day just by doing this. So we're looking at the euro. We're seeing here that's looking stronger against the dollar, of course, that weaker dollar having effect. Sterling through the 139 level now convincingly, and we've got these upside targets now being met, so no big surprises there. We've got a new upside target to 150 on the longer term chart, so that's quite key, and 146 here. So we expect to see sterling just continuing to appreciate against that weaker dollar. Against the euro, we're sitting at 114.68. We've got a target to 116.86 here, so that's looking pretty strong as well. Bitcoin sitting at $49,000 this morning, so looking stronger again, pushing higher. That target activated, so looking very strong indeed there. And if we look at the markets in the US, of course, this is Friday's price. We are still looking bullish on all 3 time frames. Looking at the future this morning, we're up 0.46% on the S&P future. And the Nasdaq E-mini up 0.4%, suggests markets will open higher. The VIX volatility is actually up, but still in the low 20s, so no real cause for concerns there. The FTSE future had a very strong day yesterday, up 0.3% this morning in the UK market. And in Germany, we're just slightly down, so just flat really. And the CAC Quarante has just ticked down as I speak, so that's also just flat. Japan, making 30-year highs on the Nikkei, pushing higher still overnight, so that's looking strong. And Hong Kong, of course, is being closed for Chinese New Year, opened this morning up, so we're seeing up 2% there, and the Shanghai Index still closed for New Year. Taking a look at the Sensex, we're seeing here we're down slightly, but the market looking very strong indeed, and the Aussie market was up 0.7%. Still has work to do to get to new highs. Taking a look at commodities, gold sitting at 18.22, just starting to recover again. Short-term bearish still, medium-term bearish, but it is long-term bullish, so that's the key. Waiting for gold to break. If we do break, we activate this big upside target, if we make new highs, to $3,000. Silver is actually bullish on all 3 charts, so that's actually leading gold, looking pretty strong. $30 is the critical level for silver to break. The big news is US 10-year yields. We've been talking about this for a while, breaking the 120 level through on the cloud. That's looking pretty convincing actually, so smashing the 120 level. We've got upside targets into the 1.5% range, so looks like we will go higher. This will be a new thrust column as well, so we are seeing bond yields taking off. This is the 10-year yield. Taking a quick look at the 30-year yield, this is the 30-year yield. We've broken that 2% level, so that's really quite significant, having been as low as 1% a year ago in the middle of the crisis. And it might be tempting just to draw a trend line on there and say, okay, we're going to break through this this trend now. But of course, you need to take a look at the longer term picture, and we see here this was at a time when bond yields were changing trend right back in the middle of the 80s, but ever since that, what was known as the death of inflation. And if we put a trend channel on there, we see that we're still very, very much in a downtrend. So what we would need to actually break this downtrend is really a rise through around this 3.5% level. So we're a long, long way from that still. But it's quite interesting that we are seeing this level here that we need the higher high for that to be the end of the death of inflation, but we are back into the higher zone. Be very interesting to see how this pans out over years. We're talking years to watch this chart. Not that interesting for a lot of traders, but it's often quite interesting to see the big moves. Taking a look at the energy mix now, we've got Brent crude down slightly this morning. It's had a great run. We've got WTI up, of course, so that's up 0.6%, so it's looking pretty strong. Good upside targets. US nat gas, there's been a lot of stories this morning out of the US. It was cold, a really cold snap in Houston, minus 20 degrees, and a lot of people there without power as a result of the inability to generate. So that's really feeling for friends in Houston. We are breaking to new highs on gas, but we're still very much in this 275, 310 range. So not yet significant, but we do have that. We've got warmer weather coming in the US, so hopefully that will be over. Coal is flat this morning. Our call this week was bearish for coal, breaking to new lows, not looking great on the charts there. This is my daily and my 60-minute chart. The 1 minute target is for 58.60, not yet activated. We do have one for 53. We've got other targets here. Watch these on your OTC data. Emissions is up 2.3% this morning. We continue to be bullish here, and we've got good upside targets, so that's looking good. We'll have another upside target here. 55.70 is the new target, but 47.96 is what we're looking at the moment. Gas prices, we were pretty bearish yesterday. The fact that we're just pushing lower on MVP, this trend is over for the winter. We're heading into springtime now, really, in terms of the gas markets, and we expect to see new lows there. TTF is actually recovering around 2% this morning, but that's not enough really. We've now broken that support level. Again, quite key on the chart there, seeing that support level broken. So we're now looking at new lows, and we've broken out of that range, and lots of downside targets to play for on the 1 minute chart. Keep an eye on your 1 minute OTC targets, and we're seeing that winter gas, seasonal gas rolling over as well, so that's quite key. Power, we were neutral for the week. We see German power stuck very much in this range of 51, 54, so that's quite key. We are up this morning quite sharply, but we are in a range and in the cloud, so that is just a little bit of a sign. The quarterly contract, much the same picture, of course. And we look at the other power markets, we're seeing French power down 0.5% this morning, Dutch power down, and the one market that we were bullish about was Nordic power, and that's looking stronger this morning, again up 0.75%, still above the cloud. No signs of a breakdown here, so that's bucking the trend. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you there.